Welcome to the Mind Body Abundance Show. I'm Patricia Clason, and I'm from the Dare to Be Aware Fair. I help people find the tools and the resources to help them build their best possible future. And I'm very excited today to be bringing to you two folks who will be at the fair this year, Cassandra Wind and Alan Ungart. Welcome.
Thank you.
So a little bit about the fair. The fair this year is on May 11th, the day before Mother's Day. So we want you to make it a Mother's Day celebration if you can. Bring your mom, bring your daughter, bring your friends, and come and visit the over 100 exhibitors that will be at the Brookfiels Conference Center. The fair is from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's $15 admission, free parking. Best deal you'll ever get. Over, again, 100 exhibitors and 13 different presentations, all included in that admission fee. So we're going to talk a bit about the fair today and give you a chance to get to know these folks and what they're going to be bringing to you at the fair. And we're going to start here with Jay.
Hello.
So, Jay, you are a rune reader.
That's correct.
Right? And runes are not a very common divination tool. We don't hear about them a lot, and in fact, you have been the only rune reader at the fair for many years now.
That's correct.
So what makes runes so unique?
Well, first of all, I just want to say runes are stones that you throw, and that's about where the similarity with tarot, which most people are aware of, ends. The runes sort of demand responsibility. They don't want you to come and ask, will I find love? They want you to come and say, I have this decision to make, or I have this that I want to do. And they will help show you obstacles. If you have a question about which direction to go, they'll certainly help you and tell you which option might be the better option. And they're never going to tell you, no, you can't do anything, because they want you to have responsibility. They want to empower you with responsibility. But they will definitely help you decide, figure out obstacles, warn you if there's something going on, or encourage you if there's something good.
So it's not fortune telling?
It's not fortune telling. It's not predictive in that way. It's more of, this is the path you're going on. These are the obstacles. These are the helpers that are coming in.
You know, you talk about them, and we've had some conversations about this. You talk about them like they have their own personality or identity, and that each set of runes or each type of runes does have its own energy.
The Norse believe in personal spirits, and it's been my experience that every rune set has a spirit that works with it. The runes I use the most have like a grandmotherly spirit, and other ones that I have like a powerful, courageous, like stag spirit. But the spirits have their own personalities. So some runes, the runes I use, very direct, very clear. Some runes less direct. You have to kind of coax them. You know? So
Okay.
There's a lot of spirit personality to the
Sure.
runes that I found. So yeah.
And I imagine it took some time and mentorship to really learn to do this. This isn't something that you just go to the store, buy a pack of runes, and you're an instant rune reader.
Correct. I was drawn to them, obviously, because of my spirit mediumship. They drew me to the runes, and they wouldn't really let me put them down. But you study them, and they have like regular meanings and like esoteric meanings. So you'll find, one rune might mean travel, but it can also mean order of the universe. I was mentored by someone for some time, a few years, to really kind of get into that. And then for the past 20 years or so, I've been really studying them and getting a deeper connection with them. Eventually, you just start to connect spiritually with them rather than mentally. So that's
Sure. So when people are coming to do some work with you, to have a session with you, they're getting the benefit of 20 years of experience of learning what the runes can say, and not just being with the stones, but connecting your energy.
Connecting my energy. And all it's like a marriage a little bit, where you have both the trials and the great experiences, and that all forms this connection, and that's the sort of experience that people are going to get. And it's intense. I'd say that I don't really remember my rune readings because I sort of get a little bit in a trance.
Yeah.
So
That
it's
sounds
exciting.
great.
People are going to love it.
Okay, so lots of folks have seen you at the fair, done sessions with you. You do them all year long with people. Tell us a couple of success stories.
So I want to start with one that was actually at the Dare to Be Aware fair. So just so you know, if you want to, so you come. Someone came and they had a question about a business. They had two business partners, and they really were struggling to decide who, to go with. And the runes, it was very much, the runes said very clearly, one of them was going to complicate this business experience. It was going to basically take it out of their hands, and so they were able to decide to work with the other person. Another reading I've had involves a property negotiation, and the person involved there was going to settle for a lower number, but while doing the rune reading, the spirit said, no, wait for this number, and it was more than they were actually wanted, so they waited for that number.
And it worked.
And it worked. And then there was one that was, I threw the runes, but it was all spirit, where someone was really making a bad decision in their personal relationship. And the spirit came in, and sometimes, we like the spirit to be all positive, but sometimes the spirit has to say, you need to make, these are positive changes that are hard, difficult changes, but if you make them, your life will be better. Sometimes they don't sugarcoat it as much. They say, this is the hard work you have to do. And that's what the spirits did. And even though I threw the runes, it wasn't really, unlike the other two where the runes were important, sometimes the runes, sometimes the spirit comes over way more than the runes. So
they get both.
They get both. I blend it all together.
So I'm wondering if you'd be willing to do a quick reading for us about the fair.
Sure.
So the fair's in place. It's going to happen no matter what. The exhibitors are set. The space is ready to go. So whatever they would have to share with us, what could they tell us about?
Certainly. So this is going to be a very simple reading, where I'm just grabbing a handful of runes and I'm going to throw them. Some of them fall out. Don't worry about those. Those are just not meant to be. And the way I do a rune reading is I don't do reverse. That's another difference between tarot. It's all positional, right? So it's how they position from the other side. So what we're getting right now is a lot from what's called Elfheim, or Lotsalfheim, which is the world of the light elves, the ancestor spirits.
Okay.
And they are telling us that as it comes closer, there's an incredible exchange of energy, okay? People who come to the Dare to Be Aware fair are investing their energy and are going to get so much back. There's a very strong sense that the gods or the spirits or whatever you believe in are going to empower you. This energy is going to empower you. And as it closes to the center, you're going to find this is a rune for strength, but it's like an inexorable strength. It's a strength that can't be stopped. Not to sound super positive here, because but I'm really positive for the experience. I think the Dare to Be Aware fair is going to change people's lives and give them the strength to do whatever you need to do. Remember, runes empower you. So that's the first big thing. Up here are the runes for. There's a lot of. There's going to be a lot of positive feminine energy.
Yes.
Coming in. If you are a lady and you are looking at, this is Vanaheim, this is family relationships. If you have a question about family relationships, maybe come to the Dare to Be Aware fair, look for solutions, look for ways to improve it.
Go to Cassandra's presentation.
Go to Cassandra's presentation.
That in a few minutes. Okay.
That's great. And again, there's this sense of this is going to empower you. The gods are going to help. That's what they do. But they're looking here. This is an interesting one, because sometimes we're not all positive. They're saying here, the Dare to Be Aware fair is about the people that come there.
Right.
The Dare to Be Aware fair is about you getting what you need. And so they're saying, don't come here hoping that you're just going to get something from the gods without working for it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Works if you work it, they sometimes say.
Yep.
This is saying, the gods are saying, we're going to help you, but you got to row the boat. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's going to be a great experience for everyone. I think everyone's going to find a deep sense of personal victory. This is sort of your inner base emotions, and this is a rune for victory. So I think we're going to find, I think people, if they work it, if they come with an open mind, come to, willing to put in whatever effort they're presented with, the gods are going to help them, and they're going to really get a great experience. This is really a
That's
very
exciting.
Positive, yeah.
That was a nice reading.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you. So that really is what the fair is all about. We're bringing people all these tools and resources that they can connect with, and if they take the time to get to know some of the people, that's one of the wonderful things about an event like the fair, is that you can actually sit and talk with a person for a little while. You can get a sense of who that person is and what they're bringing to the table as an offering of services or products. And so that's why I love doing the fair, is I get to give this great gift to the whole community. So if people wanted to start exploring runes before the fair and then come to you and talk to you a little bit about what they've been doing and maybe get a bit of advice about how to better work with the runes, they could do a session with you like that, right?
Certainly. I'd be more than happy to help people understand the runes a little better. They can certainly go and pick up a set of runes and a book. And it doesn't have to be fancy. You can get them at bookstores. There's Altered States in Bayview that has runes. You can even get them online. If you're not comfortable diving that deep, just look at the runes, find some runes that speak to you, and tell me them, or bring pictures, and we can talk about what they might mean for your life. It's the runes can be very personal, and they are very personal. So if one or two of them speak to you more than others, that's a great place to start.
Jay, do you have a website that people can
I currently have a Facebook page, and it's Frith and Fortune. Now, Frith is a Norse word for community, safety, sort of the spiritual community.
Okay.
It's F-R-I-T-H, F-R-I-T-H, and Fortune, just like fortune or fate. And you can find me on Facebook, and or you can email me at jallen@frithandfortune.com.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So that's how they can
That's
connect
how they can reach
prior
me.
to the fair if they want to.
Yep. And my number is on the page, so if you want to text is best. I'm a millennial. But if you want to text me, I'll be happy to contact you back.
All right. Well, it's good these days to tell people what your preferred means of communication is, because I find out everybody's got a different version, it seems like. So if they go to Facebook, put in the search box Frith, F-R-I-T-H, and A-N-D, Fortune.
Yep.
Then your site will come up.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you so very much. So people can expect to spend some time with you at the fair, possibly if they want to book beyond the fair, or if they can't see you the day of the fair, they can book later as well?
Certainly. We're going to have certificates available so that you can, if you're at the fair, there's a special booking deal, and gift certificates available if you can't see me that day. You're welcome to also contact me and schedule ahead if you're really excited about this. We're gonna have like I said, a special offer at the Dare to Be Aware Fair.
So they have to come visit you to find out.
They have to come visit me to find it because it's to be
right.
determined.
The runes will guide you,
The runes
Jay.
will guide me. Yes.
I like that.
Well, thank you for telling us
my
all
pleasure. Thank
about
you.
the runes. I think it's something we can all look forward to. And if we don't get to people don't get to do a session with you because you won't be able to see 1,000 people in one day. There's a whole year after the fair that they can see you anytime.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Thank you. My pleasure.
So now, Miss Cassandra, I'm going to turn my body just a little. Everybody, I have a bit of a bum knee right now, so I have to be careful turning, but I do want to be able to look at Cassandra. There we go. Hi.
Hey.
So this is Cassandra Wind. Cassandra and I have known each other for many years now. I met her at another expo-type event many years ago, and was very impressed with who she is and what she has to offer and the unique combination of things that she has put together in her desire to serve families. So, Cassandra, you have a special presentation for the fair. You want to tell us a little bit about that, please?
Sure.
For the presentation that I'm doing this year, it's called The 3 Keys to Strengthen Your Teen's Emotional Intelligence. It is by far one of the things that as a kid growing up, coming from a family with parents who were always busy and working, is really important for the success of your child throughout high school and moving on into their life, and knowing who to talk to and what resources are available, because once they leave home, it's not always convenient. But having the confidence, knowing the basics, and then having experiences with community before they leave home that are really positive to set them up to really be okay out in the world.
So in your presentation, you're going to give people some really important keys about how to do that.
Yes, they'll be very unique, I would say, different cultural things that are going to be shared throughout that, how other cultures address this, and what that does and how that says, and how I used it in raising my own 3 children. I had 2 sons and a daughter, and how it's different.
So we're not getting just theory, we're getting actual practice.
Correct.
Excellent.
Then
Thank you.
what works for your heart. I'm just sharing what I did, and you can take what you want and leave the rest.
So your organization is called Nurturing Generations.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit bigger picture about what your organization does.
So Nurturing Generations started out with doing integrative medicine. So my background's in Western and radiology and nuclear medicine and X-ray. And then 10 years into that, I'm like, oh, I hate being on call. I got to find something different. And I had a health crisis. So I went into cranial sacral therapist as a cranial sacral therapy studying. And I had a great teacher, Pratima from India, and she was just delightful. And she had us do an exercise one day where we did a pressure point. And after that point, some of us couldn't stop crying, including myself. And I'm like, what's going on? So she had us come in and explain that. And I was so impressed by what she taught in that moment. And then the studies of, how you eat and how you sleep and your constitution type, how that affects you. That was the first time I ever heard that. And then after having my daughter, I had another health crisis and decided to go see an acupuncturist who was amazing, Dr. Jin. And for the first time in my whole life, I could breathe after like 3 treatments like I hadn't since I was a child. And I had a respiratory arrest where the machine malfunctioned. And so I've always had troubles with my lungs. And since that, I have gotten off just about all medication except an inhaler at the change of seasons. So I've learned how to eat, learned how to sleep, all those things that affect you in your life.
So you bring all of that together in the work that you do with people as an individual or as a family to help them practice things that will bring the family together.
Correct.
To be more successful.
Yes.
You shared with me a few success stories that I'd love for you to share with these folks. I think it'd be helpful for them to hear this.
Okay. So for me, working with children is really important because in some of the teachings from Ayurvedic and Chinese, when a child turns 7, things change, and when they turn about 10, 11, 13, things change again, and that can affect health for the lifetime. So to me, when I read that, and I've practiced and seen it, I've worked at children's, how important that really is. So one of the things that I like to see with children is when they come in and they have behavior issues, they're hyper or they're attitudinal, bringing them in and doing a cranial sacral session. A mom brought a child in and we did it, and she was very aggressive and she had autism. The child was, I'm sorry. So after the session, I never saw her for like 5, 6 months. And one day I bumped into her and she goes, I was thinking, my child's changed dramatically. She stopped being aggressive, and I was trying to figure it out last week, what that was, how long it's been. She goes, it was back to that session, the one session you did. So she was it can have a profound effect. On some, it isn't always like that. We usually like to do at least 3 sessions. Mm-hmm. However, you can start to see that if you're really struggling.
And you also mentioned something about a baseball player.
Yes, I've worked with a lot of sports. Sports for kids is really important to make sure that they're staying balanced, but as well as professional players. So I had the chance of working on a professional pitcher who had had 3 surgeries, and he was not able to even button his shirt when he walked in. And he really wanted, he heard about acupuncture and wanted to know what I thought. And I said, I only know one point, and that I've used to help with his shoulder, but I don't know if it'll really help you. It's painful, and he opted to do it. And he had to keep moving his shoulder, and by the time we were done with the session and moving that needle while he moved his shoulder, he was able to actually go like this. And I remember him saying to me specifically, I've had 3 surgeries and I spent over $500,000 on these, and I come here and you do this. So it was really like, really? So it was an interesting moment for both of us.
Sure, you know, and all medicine has a place. Traditional medicine does have its place and its time. And one of the reasons I like to do the fair every year is because there are so many different alternative possibilities that people might consider, if possible, before they do traditional medicine or adjacent to traditional medicine. So it all can work together.
My experience is what I like about in other like Eastern philosophies, something doesn't just happen just because it happens, unless it's a motor vehicle accident or something. Something precipitates, whether it's poor nutrition, you haven't dressed your child well enough over the years, their immune system goes down, or they're just fragile. It could be lots of, for teens, a lot of sleepless nights, too much time with the brain on overload, and this over time can affect emotions as well as physical health. So for when somebody comes to me, my intakes take longer because I want to know from birth to death what's been going on, you know, before they die. Where are they at the moment and what's been going on? Because sometimes you can trace things in an 8-year-old that happened in the womb from a Chinese perspective, and I know right what to do so that child can get over that and move on and be healthier when they're a teen, through their teens, through adulthood.
You know, Cassandra, I think your session is going to be amazing. And it's going to be something that'll be very valuable to people. And as I listened to you just now, I also think that you can't tell them in 50 minutes all the amazing things that you have at your disposal, the things that you've learned and the tools that you have, that they really will likely want to reach you maybe before the fair or after the fair as well. So even though your session is going to be valuable information for teens, it will be valuable to anyone about their healing, about their pulling their life together for health on every level kind of thing.
Yes, it will be a very interesting, no one's speaking about this that I'm aware of at this time, because I've been searching for my own healing and I've done so many different things and learned from so many different cultures. There's a time and a place, and with what the family believes as well, and respecting that people may not want to do something because it doesn't fit their values.
Sure.
And to push something on someone when the values aren't there can be as harmful. So you need to listen to the family and the parents and the children.
Culturally sensitive.
Correct.
I acknowledge
Correct.
you for that. It's really important.
Mm-hmm.
So what could our listeners do now, between now and the fair and your session, or even if they happen to be listening to this for some reason after the fair, what is something they could do, a tool that you could give them that would be helpful for their family?
Well, I think one of the major things that I've found as a single mom raising 3 kids in a family that everybody's going different directions, and I had one in high school, middle school, and just starting kindergarten. We had to have a family meeting, and somebody told me to try this, and it was one of the most helpful things to do. I didn't understand at the time how important it was and what would become of it, but it helped us really get to know each other deeper. We would ask questions. Kids would problem solve when I just didn't know what to do, and my kids were brilliant, and I wouldn't have thought of some of the things they had suggested. So this brings community, it brings caring. The kids get to see where each other's struggling. With Sage, my youngest one, being so young, how gentle the boys were in helping her understand things that they were doing and feel part of it. and help her feel like she belonged, even though the boys were from one dad, Sage was from another, how they embraced her. And to see a high school football player, my son was like 6 foot and he was like 160 pounds, sit down with her and she's sitting on his belly and he's teaching her words and, you know, taking time to do that and making time in the schedule to do that. So there were wonderful aspects, how you get to know each other more deeply and builds that family energy. Even when they're gone, you know, there's still that, you're still touching and you know them. And it just is, it's really a unique experience.
So when I hear family meeting, I think, we got to talk, there's a problem. And that's not what I'm hearing you say. You're saying have a family gathering, come together, make sure that at least once a week there's time where the family just is together. No TV, no screens, no external stuff. Just be together, talk to each other, learn about what each other's doing, where they're going, that kind of thing.
It is, and it's a time like we would use a feather as like a talking stick or a stone. Whoever had that, no one else could speak. So we had specific things we needed to know. What was your week like? Where do you have to be? Do you have your rides? You know, who's making dinner? You know, who's doing laundry? We needed to know who could help with all that. So sometimes they volunteered to do some of the chores. We had a chore list. Everybody had to do chores. And then they'd let us know when they'd get them done. So became, and they came aware of, I'm on call this night. You know, what do you guys got going? Do I need to get a babysitter? Do I need to find somebody else? So there were many things going on in our schedules with the 3 different age levels. So I had one who was really into music and, you know, has a PhD now. But, you know, juggling rides to from concerts or to his lessons and working with dads, you know, 2 dads. And it is a process. So we still felt like family, even though there was all this other family out there. It connected us deeply. So
that sounds like a great idea. And they could start slow.
Yep.
Short times, expand those times as people get more comfortable with it.
Yeah, usually for us, we started with a half an hour and we ended up usually having an hour. It was good for us. We try to keep it under an hour. But it also becomes a fun time too. It doesn't have to be just that. Like if the kids wanted to plan a vacation, we planned a vacation and figured that out. So it can be lots of different stuff together.
Together.
What do the kids want? And where do they want to go? And what does that look like? What do we need to make that happen?
Yeah.
Money-wise, they need to learn how money works, you know.
So if folks want to connect up with you, they can go to the Dare to Be Aware Fair website, click on presentations, and your presentation will come up, and there's a button right there that will take them to your website.
Correct.
And they can learn more about who you are and what you do and how to connect up with you.
Yes.
And if they want to go direct, it's nurturinggenerations.com. Is that correct?
Actually, it's just CassandraWind.com.
Oh, okay.
It's my name.
Thank you.
Yes, because I'm doing 2 different things, doing parenting programs, and I'm doing the Nurturing Generations. Everything's under that.
Got it.
For people, they remember me more than they remember the name of the business. But it comes up, it says Nurturing Generations, but it's my name, CassandraWind.com.
And there's 2 S's in Cassandra.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's with a C, not a K.
There we go. Well, thank you, Cassandra. Thank you, Jay, for...
It's my pleasure.
I get so excited when I talk about the fair. Even though there's a lot to do and sometimes the tasks feel overwhelming, I look so much forward to it every year. I'm hoping that you all will join us at the fair this year. Mind, Body, Abundance TV will be there, broadcasting live from the fair, giving you the inside scoop about what's going on and a little bit of behind-the-scenes stuff. So save May 11th. Put it on your calendar now. We'll see you there. And in the meantime, have a wonderful spring. Thank you for being here.